Hello and welcome back everybody, Blue Dwarf here, and welcome to episode 2 of Create Above and Beyond. Now, as I said at the end of last episode, we will be starting off with just a little bit of mining, looking at what it was like in this mod pack, and you've got a really cool thing where some of the copper is green in like the oxidized state, so that's something quite cool, and you get it from the regular to the halfway through to the full green, and just been mining down from where we had our stuff set down. Got some zinc ore. I made a couple iron pickaxes from the iron that we had from doing our exploration. Just using those to mine this zinc ore, because this zinc ore can't be mined with stone. There's a few things like that. But zinc is the first one you'll probably come across. Lead and some of the other ones also need a iron or equivalent pickaxe. I believe you can also use Certus quartz if you haven't found iron, or if you haven't got much iron, because obviously, or not obviously, but the fact that when you take these ores and you put them in a furnace, you get 3 nuggets, or a third of an ingot, which can be definitely pretty rough. So in today's episode, we're going to try and make it so that the ores that we're collecting right now can be properly processed into full ingots and a 1-to-1 ratio. Now, as part of that, we can go to the metallurgy. We can see that from the ore, we can go to mining, and that's 1-to-1. And then fortune is 1-to-2. All of these are just check marks. You don't get anything from them, so we can just look at them as a guide. So we can get 1-to-2 from fortune, and that means we'll have these crushed ores. Now you can either take that and smelt it, 1 to 3 nuggets, or induction smelting, but that's a lot later on. Or what we're going to do is use the milling. We can go on to crushing and pulverizing, but again, those will come later. So we need to start with the milling, and then we'll be going on to melting, and that will go from 1 ore to 3 dust, and that will take it from 3 dust, 1 dust to 3 nuggets worth of liquid, and that will get us a whole ingot. So that's the initial process that we're going to go through. We can then over time upgrade to different ways of doing things, and that will change with what we have access to. But overview, it's not us to start off by getting all of these different things, which includes the millstone and the seared smelter, to get us started on our ore processing system. And then we're going to look onto what else we need to automate to develop in this pack. So I'm just going to mine some ores for a second, and I'll be back when we have some ores to process. So we've come up from the mines down below with some ores that we have. We did have some ores, or some already processed metals from our exploration, and I definitely say go do that first. Go do some exploration, because, as I said, this whole stack here only equals 17 ingots, and we already have used a few. We had about half a stack of iron already, and that was probably much more time efficient even than going mining. So I've looked at what we need for starting off and all the different steps we need, and to get started with the millstone or the seared smelter, we need andesite alloy, and we need algal bricks, which is from kelp and clay. Now, basically, we just can go grab some clay from the world, and I'm sure we can find some kelp somewhere close enough, maybe in the ocean up here, if not down here. But whilst I've pointed it out, I've been working a little bit on what our base will start off looking like, and I think this is basically what I am happy with. I think I'm going to make that 1 taller to give us a nice headroom, and then have these spruce planks on the flooring, which have been specially chiseled using the chisel mod, and then repeat this a number of times along, and then mirror it and put a roof on it and see where that goes with us. So we're going to start building up a base at the same time. After grabbing resources for a fair amount of time, we are finally ready to start making some actual progress here. So we can take all of this out of here, and we can start off by looking at making our seared melter, and for that we need some seared bricks and some grout. Now for that we can put in some clay, sand and gravel, get 2 stacks of grout, and we're also going to take the clay and the kelp, and we're going to make algal bricks using it just like that. And we'll just make we'll make 4 stacks for the moment, as we'll be needing a fair amount of those. We can stick that in here. Found some bituminous sand in the desert, smelts 12 items, which is pretty nice, and just been using that to cook up some limestone for use in our build. So what we need to do now is we need to get smelt all of this algal blend and the grout up, and that will allow us to, once we got the algal bricks, we can take that and our andesite cobblestone, and we get andesite alloy. Now with that andesite alloy, we start off wanting to make what should we want to start off by making the millstone. So make a cogwheel. We need to grab some wood. We will make a bunch of buttons, and with that we will make a bunch of cogwheels, and with that we should be able to make our millstone. Now stick in some more in there, grab some more algal bricks. Now to be able to power our millstone, because we will have to start off powering it ourselves initially, we will grab a hand crank, and we need some shafts for that. We're going to make some shafts. I believe we were able to find some shafts as well. Yep, we did find some shafts and a cog, and a radial chassis and a windmill bearing from one of these. You can find them, I think it was this structure here inside of this bigger structure, and it's basically a rundown mill, looks like kind of windmill from Crate, which is where I was able to get that stuff from. And just making up some more andesite alloy. So with that we can take our millstone, we go and place that down over here, and we can take our cogwheel and place that right there, and with that we can make our hand crank. And if we grab a piece of ore, we can throw that piece of ore into there and put the hand crank on, and that should be able to get us 3 iron dust. And it only took a little while. And then with that iron dust, we can either smelt that into a single ingot, which doesn't get us anything more than if we were just to smelt it up in the furnace anyway. But we can then put this into a seared melter once we've made that, and that will get us a whole ingot of iron. I'm going to wait up for our seared bricks to smelt up for a second. Now that all of those things have smelted up, we can grab those and we will be good to go. We can make a seared smelter. We need a fuel tank, fuel gauge even, and we have a seared smelter, seared melter even. Now to power this we need a seared heater, and that acts as we can put solid fuels in that, and we'll also need a seared faucet and a seared casting table. Now that we have all that, I may have been a little busy working on our base whilst that was all cooking up, so this is starting to come together nicely, I feel. Obviously, next step, move all that stuff up here so we can build the factory out. I don't know how wide I'm going to go with it, but probably a bit wider than this, to be honest, because we're going to need lots of space. But we can put down a seared heater. We'll put that there, and a melter on top, and we can get the table there and the faucet there. Now, to start off with this, we're going to want to put in a gold. We want to put in some gold, so we're going to grab some of our gold ore, and we have a seared brick. Now, this is so that we can make an ingot cast. So we can throw in some gold. We don't need 2 pieces of gold, but I've thrown them in now. And we can use our hand crank, and that won't take very long to get that done. So it's when the particles stop, and we've got our 6 gold dust. Now we can chuck 3 in there. Now we need to grab some fuel. So if you just grab some fuel from in here, grab some coal, and stick that in there. Now that will heat all of that up. We can put a seared brick on there, and we can pour that out, and we will have a ingot mold. So we can stick our other gold that we have in there, and we can also grab the 3 iron dust that we got beforehand, and we should be able to cast that out into a gold ingot. And that is now we have 1-to-1 conversion from ore to dust to ingot. So now that we have all of that, we can move on to making some of these other machines, and I intend on making that very automated because we will not be wanting to use this hand crank we want to be using it for as little time as absolutely possible. So I've just moved all of our items up here so that they are out the way and expanded the base a little bit, so we now have plenty of space to be doing some nice automation. Now, in the interest of automation, we are going to quickly first off make a bunch more andesite alloy, and we might as well make an absolute load. That's all of our andesite, I believe, actually. And what we're going to do is we're going to immediately go for some water wheels. Now, with water wheels, it will allow us to automate what we are doing. So we can take that, get a bunch of buttons, and we can make some large cog wheels, 8 of those. And we can then make some water wheels. We need some slabs for that. Probably a few more than that, actually. And we should be able to make five's a little bit much for the moment. We'll just make 3 water wheels, and that should be enough to get us going. Now, I don't have a lot in terms of iron, but I will actually make another bucket. And we can go grab some water from over here. There we go. And this way we will be able to get some mechanical power going, fully automating our mill. So to do this, I am actually going to move our bed. Our bed can go over here where our chests are, and just make sure we set our spawn. So if we take our water wheels and we put them so that they are off the ground, we'll put some logs. I don't know which way would be better to have them facing. We're going to have these logs taken out, and I will put them back like that so that we keep our nice floor going. And I believe we need to go 1 higher, and then we can place them like that. No, 1 lower. Oops. Yeah, so they can go there like that, and that will have the flow going towards us. And if we then go around with our logs, just like that, and we can place the water, and that should flow perfectly in like that. But I will quickly grab that a second, and I will just put it down here, and then we have an infinite water source to grab from. And I will actually grab a water source back for me so that I can always have that. So now we've got a very much nice amount of kinetic energy going here. Now, to speed it up just a little bit, place a large cogwheel, and then we can... Where should we go? We can go backwards like that. and that should speed up the beam a little bit. Now, what else we can do with the little iron that we do have is, first of all, we need some chests, because we are out of those. So we're going to make up 2 chests, or 4 chests, and we are going to make 2 of them into hoppers. And that way, we can take out these 2 blocks here, and place them as such, and this one here actually, in fact, as well. And place the other 2 chests down here with the hopper going into them. And now that will automatically take the ingots out of here once they've been casted. And we will need a piece of cobblestone to make a lever. And we will need that because I don't know where the best place to put this would be, actually. I don't know if we can actually just power... That might work. So it powers this faucet so that it will automatically pour out the ingots. And we will have the hopper into there so that the dust can go automatically into there. And we can then just take this out, put the millstone up on there, and have the cogwheel as such, and then we need to figure out a way of turning that into energy. I don't think we can turn the force with these things, so we are going to need to make a gearbox. So to make gearboxes, that's not how you spell gear. Make a gearbox. You need a bunch of those and andesite casings. So we can then make 2 gearboxes. And what we're going to do, what would be best? So if we have it go, what we need to turn this into a vertical gearbox and go 1 backwards. And then we can have a gear there, there, and there. And there we have a automatically working millstone, even. So we can take our ores, take a bunch of iron, stick them in there. And then as soon as the dust comes through, I'm hoping that it will just the hopper will work with this. I don't think the hopper works taking it out of the millstone. Maybe because is the hopper powered? That's the point. Yes, the hopper was powered, so it now takes the iron dust, and we can put a log going like that, and our automatically putting the iron into there, and then it will take it automatically out, and we have a fully working processing system. And we don't even need to use a hand crank anymore. This is a bit of a gobbledygook, but it means that it's nice and fast, and it's working. Now that we can get a nice amount of iron, it would be good to move on to these other machines. I wanted to get the iron and this whole setup working first because some of these machines, like the mechanical press, require a whole block of iron to make. Now, first thing we need to make is the andesite machines, and this needs us to make kinetic mechanisms and the andesite casing. Now, the kinetic mechanisms is the slightly more complicated bit. We need to make some more cogwheels. Running out of wood. So make a bunch of those, and then we can get. See, I'm going to make an absolute bunch of these, so I'm going to make some more wood. And get an absolute load. and that means we can then go like this, and we are going to make an iron saw, and we need 3 of these, 2 regular sticks and a piece of iron, and then it was what was it? Logs, cogwheel, and andesite. So logs, wheel, just like that. And I'm gonna start running out of wood here, but because we do need a lot of these, it will be needing them from all the different machines. And I'm going to say make that many, and then we can take that and some andesite casings, and we will make the andesite machines. That makes 6 of those. So we can then take a block of iron, and we should be able to make our mechanical press. We need a smithing table first, so that can go there. So andesite machine, block of iron, and we have our mechanical press. Now we will also need a teapot on for that, and we can just place that right here. And now we need a few, not that many. So we need 4 iron plates for the mechanical saw. We need 4 more iron plates for the propeller, and we need 5 more. So 8, 9, 10, 13. So we need 13 plates, and it will go and make those for us. Now, whilst it's doing that, we also need the wrench, and that's 3 gold sheets. So we can take 3 gold, and we will be able to do that in a second as well. Now, the other thing that we need to do is these. So we've got those 3 things that we need, that it wants us to make. The other thing that we also need to make is some arboreal extractors. Now, this comes from the tips that are given in the pack description that you can go look at on the CurseForge website where you download the pack, and it's advised to get a few of these early on so that we get a nice supply of resin so we can get rubber to make mechanical belts. So we're going to actually make 2 of these, and that way we can get a nice supply of rubber pretty quickly. Now, I believe those also need some kind of fuel at the same time, so we'll need to get some of that, and we need to pick up some of our iron, which we have now got more of, and we've got some iron nuggets in here as well. So we can make the propeller, the saw blade. What's that? We need a lead ingot. Where's our lead? We have some crushed lead. Just chuck all of that in there. And then whilst we're waiting for that, we can make the press with the whisk. So 1 mechanical whisk, mixer even, 1 encased fan. And we need to put these gold ingots on our press. And whilst we do that, we will also put down our mixer. I don't know, we'll keep the mixer just for the moment. We can stick it in our machine's place. And grab a thing of lead, because it's the saw blade that we probably also want to, that we can put down. That would be useful. And that's the last of our andesite machines. And we can get rid of all of that stuff. Cool. I don't want to destroy that. So where do we power you? You can get powered by the sides. I need to buy that pickaxe. So we put that there, or rotated. Oh, there we go. So we can put it like that. What are you doing? Well, we'll take the input there, so we can put our gear there, and we have a working saw. And then we can also make our wrench before we go, because that is basically all we'll have time for today in this episode. We have gotten all of our machines set up. We have got an automatic ore processing setup where we don't have to put anything in other than the actual ores themselves, and we have got our machines set up so that they are automatic too. So good progress. Gotten all this done. We get a crafting blueprint, which I'm sure we'll have time to look at in the next episode. And I shall see you all in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you're enjoying this content, and leave a like to show your support. Have a nice day, everyone. Bye-bye.